This is Bill Wendell from the Real Estate Cafe. In our industry, we talk about bird dogs. They're people who can find listings before they're put in the MLS and available for everyone on the planet to see. That's the metaphor I'm using here at the Bunker Hill Monument in Charlestown, Massachusetts. It's a Boston neighborhood. And this was the scene of an early Revolutionary War battle. In fact, it was candidly, the Americans lost. At that point, they weren't Americans, they were colonists. And perhaps if they'd had some bird dogs, they would have known that the Brits were assembling here on the night of June the 16th. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow also happens to be the day the realtors are heading into the State House, not this little building here, but a massive legislature on Beacon Hill. So this is Bunker Hill. And I wanted to use the metaphor, not a Battle of Bunker Hill, but Battle of Broker Hill. For the last 5 years, the name of the game has been who's got inventory. If you're an investor, you know that bird dogs can spot that inventory before it ever hits the MLS. If you're working with certain companies that have an in-house listing dashboard, you know that they'll give you access to data listing silos pre-MLS. So instead of competing against anyone that can see the monument, the MLS, you're competing only on in-house. And that's become a civil war in the industry because it gives people an inside advantage. Some would say it doesn't maximize the sales price for the sellers. Candidly, as a buyer agent, that's not my desire. My job is to get access to all the MLS properties. And I would even say pre-MLS, not as in coming soon. But anyone who knows surveillance capitalism knows that neighborhoods have body language. Houses are signaling that a life is in transition before a property ever hits that data silo or the MLS. So where is the Battle of Broker Hill going from here? I'm not entirely sure. But I've recorded this video to get some people talking about the Battle of Broker Hill and how the consumer wins or loses. My own take is that buyer agents have been strangled by hidden listings. The average homeowner doesn't know that there are multiple layers of listings pre-MLS. They don't know that there's a real estate underground hiding down in these neighborhoods. They're waiting for something to come into the MLS, and too often paying over asking price. 3 years ago, that was 100,000 or more on 1 in 6 properties, 6.5 properties in Massachusetts. Now we don't need the bird dogs because there are recent headlines as there are 500,000 more sellers than there are buyers. So we'll see where it all goes from here. It may go to the courts, but in the meantime, there is a Battle of Broker Hill, and we'd love to hear your opinion.